So that's all we're doing with pricing and positioning, is figuring out where do we belong on that shelf. Does that make sense? You're going to position in competition. That's what we're doing is merchandising. So this piece of bottled water here, if we were going into business together and he said, let's start a new bottled water company. Let's go in the bottled water business. We say, okay, all right, we got some competition, but we could do it. Let's go figure it out. Let's go over to Publix together and let's go down the water aisle. And we're going to go take a look. Is there just one bottle of water in Publix right now? There's about 70 different types, and it's all over the spectrum, right? You're in the beverage world, right? So you walk into there, and now here we are wanting to put a new product on the shelf. So we have to see what else is on the shelf to see how we position it there. Now you have the nasty private labeled water that's really purified tap water that's hanging out over there for 69 cents for a bottle. And then you have the organic alkaline 9.5 pH water that's non-GMO in a gold bottle that's on the far right-hand side of the water bottle aisle, which is $2.79 for that same bottle. But it's, so you see the spectrum from 69 cents to $2.79 for a bottle of water. Now we're going to say, we're going to shove this one on the shelf. How do we compare? If we stink and we're brown, we're probably going to be a little cheaper than the 69-cent one. If we've got some new filtration system from Mars, we might be better than the non-GMO alkaline water on this far end, right? But if we're somewhere in the middle, we're somewhere in the middle. So all we're doing with our strategic positioning analysis is actually coming up with a story about how cool is our water? What does our water have? What's the features and the benefits of this water? How are we competing with the other bottles on the shelf? And we need to shove it in the middle of another couple of bottles, so at least somebody walking down the aisle at least stops and grabs us off the shelf and looks at us, right? And then our packaging and our marketing and our labeling and our pricing all comes into play at that point, but we have to do something to attract somebody to grab it off the shelf, right? Which in our industry is click on it on Zillow, realistically. So what are we gonna do to attract the eyeballs? So that's all we're doing with pricing and positioning, is figuring out where do we belong on that shelf. I don't want you to get too confused about pricing at all, because this is all it is. You've got to say, okay, it's a 4.3. It's about 2,100 square feet, and it's about 10 years old, and it's in this area. Okay, is there anything else that's a 4.3, about 2,100 square feet in this area that's for sale? Let's go look at them. Are we nicer or are we crappier? Now let's look at the other one. Are we nicer or are we crappier? And then it's kind of give you a ballpark range of where we belong on that shelf. You got that? And then we look at the ones that have sold most recently that are like that, because the appraiser is going to look at those, and we're going to see if we're kind of in the ballpark, if we think it's still going to work out. That's it. That's all we're doing. And so we just sometimes have to go through this example with the sellers, because they think it's something magical that the Zestimate is, and it's irrelevant, right? Only thing that matters is what else is on the shelf that day the buyer's walking down that aisle, and how are we positioned between those ones. So if you can't sell a dirty bottle of water for full price next to the gold one, right? So we have to have that conversation. Does that make sense? Just kind of go outside the industry? Good.